You know, guys, we're starting to get real busy in shipping parts, and I love that. It's awesome. Everybody's coming in and finding the parts they need. That to me is what makes it all worthwhile. You know, we've been so busy. I have an inventory man who's doing all this, who's going through all these parts. You can see right there all those rods that we're going through right now, and we're picking things as they come at us. You know. And I don't get to see all this stuff. I mean, I see it in the boxes, but I don't get to look at every part until the time comes when we have it on the table. This is a Model A rod. You know, comes with the rod bearing back in that time. So I don't know when this box is from or when this was boxed, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't have any dates on it. The box is printed in the United States. I don't know who made this. Anyways, came across MotorHeads! Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody's doing well and had a good weekend. So, the good, the bad, the ugly about car parts. Let's talk about car parts. For the guys that are following, yeah, you know, we've got a lot of car parts. A few weeks ago, I put a video out about the first parts group. And that video kind of exploded. I got a lot of IMs and a lot of comments about, you know, private equities. We all know what private equity means, and what they're doing to every industry. There's been a lot of comments and a lot of videos out about junkyards being burned down. You know, we're losing car parts. I don't think they're gonna. This isn't the classic car industry. Is here to stay. They can't shut that down. They can't take those cars away from us. But is it practical for us to drive our classic cars every day? No, it's not. Are they trying to shut down the used car and car part industry? I think they are to some degree. They want us to be pushed into their cars. Own nothing and be happy is one of the comments we've heard a lot. So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good. There are rebuild shops starting to open up again. There are people in North Carolina, South Carolina, Idaho. I've read about quite a few shops, and these guys are very busy. They're starting to open up starter rebuild shops, carburetor rebuild shops. Good quality work being done to rebuild some of these original parts and fix the tolerances in them. That's the problem with remanufactured parts. They've been remanufactured so many times, the tolerances are gone on them, and it's just not able to do. Now the new parts we're getting, they're not up to par. They're not up to par. I have changed a master cylinder on a Chevy truck 3 times because 2 times it failed within a year. That's insane. You know, I'm a Gen Xer, and back in the day, you put a fuel pump on, you were expected to get 40, 50, you know, sometimes 60,000 miles out of it. And let's face it, even back in the 90s, we had true blue starter and alternators, and they didn't hold up. A lot of them were junk right out of the box. So we're facing a problem with getting decent car parts. Now, one of the good things, there's still large collections out there. I've been contacted by several people with brand new 80s, 90s, and 2000s car parts out there. A lot of 50s and 60s stuff too. So we're working through the foundation to go get all this stuff and to bring it together and to put it back out on the market. That's a good thing. There are other people out there rebuilding good parts that making sure the tolerances are right. That's a good thing. Let's talk about the bad side of it. Again, back to private equities. They're closing it down. The tolerances are gone. They've rebuilt these parts so many times. For our driver cars, it's going to get increasingly difficult to find quality parts. And me, I drive all 80s and 90s cars. You know, the foundation owns a 2013 minivan, and it's a nice van, but I know somebody who has one like it. He's only gotten 20,000 miles out of a front wheel bearing. That's pretty crazy. 20,000 miles. You know, they put these they brand new. They build these cars, and that bearing usually lasts 60, 70,000 miles. Well, that's how bad the rebuild industry is. Even the new industry, the tolerances are not the same. They're not the same parts. So now the ugly side of it is, are they going to shut out our driving cars? Are they going to force us to buy their cars? You know, it's possible they're going to try, and it's possible they are trying, but the industry is just too big. I don't think they can actually do that. I think a lot of people are fear-mongering and using clickbait to get people to watch their videos. I just don't see that possible. You know, if they shut down one brand, another brand's going to open, and it's going to. There was a time when people fought for quality parts. You know, I hear about a place called Detroit Axle. I hear they got some really good parts, and they're reasonably priced. I'm not promoting them. I'm not being offered anything by them, but I've used them, and I've used them for a lot of my client cars. And so far, it looks like these guys it's a pretty good group putting stuff on the market. So, I promised in my videos, on Sundays we're going to do videos about parts, and we're going to show you everything we got. We went through, right now we have 4 bins completely organized, part numbers facing forward. We can write down the part number, we can get it in our inventory, we can find exactly what it fits, and we can sell it. That's been our goal. In fact, the last couple weeks we've pushed hard on that. So now it's time to turn around and get this stuff back out on the market and let people know what's going on with it. So I'm gonna start this series on Sundays and start talking about car parts, and I'm gonna show you what we have in the bins. We walked through the bins the other day and slowly filmed every shelf that light would allow to show you what we have. We have bin number 1 is. We haven't been able to get to yet. We ran out of room, we ran out of time, we ran out of shelf angle brackets, and we're just going to let bin 1 sit there for now. We got bin 2 that's organized, everything on the shelf, numbers facing out. Bin 3, bin 5, and bin 6. Now, bin 4, that's all the little electronic equipment, okay? That's all the switches, the distributor caps, the rotors, the points, the condensers, the switch. I mean, there's just so much in there. Spark plug wires. We still have a long way to go to get that one put together. Although I've put a lot of effort in it, and a lot is on the shelf. Numbers facing forward that we can get it out there. There's still a long ways to go with that one because there's just so many boxes full with this electronic equipment. So we'll share more with you as the next Sunday, and we're going to work towards getting more videos out and being more productive on the video market, because now that we've got all these numbers on all this paper, we can sit down and get it into the store, get it into the database, and get back to contacting people with the parts wanted forms. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to savetheparts.org. You can email us partsales@savetheparts.org for questions about our store, or you can email partswanted@savetheparts.org and send us a list and information of what you're looking for. We have a lot of people filling those out, and we get to them one at a time. But for now, for this week, for the end of this video, I've rambled on enough today. For the end of this video today, I talked about putting car parts out there at a discount price, okay? Because we want to empty these shelves. We didn't get into this to open a parts store. We got into this to give parts back to people. We got into this to find some quality parts and to get them off their shelf after we knew what they fit and were going to cost us a fortune to ship. So here's what we got today. Okay, for the next 5 days, anybody who emails us or comes into the store, we're going to offer. We have a generic brand of Monroe shocks, very good shocks, brand new in the box, in great condition. We have Pronto shocks, and we have a shock called Cofap. Now we all know shocks are pretty expensive today. We have oil-filled and gas-filled shocks, okay? Very nice shocks with the hardware. So here's the deal. $15 a shock for anybody who contacts me in the next 5 days. While supplies last. As you come in, your request will be numbered. You need to send us the information of what car you have. Is it a 4-wheel drive? Is it a 2-wheel drive? What motor do you have, so we can properly find the right shock. We will then email you back with pictures of the shock. Then we'll get these shocks sold to you for $15 per shock. $15 per box. Good oil filled and gas charged shocks. While supplies last, only 4 shocks per person. Okay? And we're going to try this out. We're going to see how this works. I've got parts wanted sheets I'm going to work on this week, and I'm going to work on putting a lot back into the store. But we're not getting high views on our videos yet, or at least the car parts videos. I got my own theories on that one. So in an effort to boost our car parts sales, in an effort to get people paying attention to what we're doing, we're going to, these shocks, brand new shocks in the box with the hardware, $15 per shock, 4 shocks per person, per order, for the next 5 days, 5 to 7 days. For the next 5 to 7 days, anybody who sends me a email on parts wanted at savetheparts.org with your information will get put in line and get a chance to get shocks at a discounted price. Really good shocks, okay? Let me show you something. We've tried a lot of parts so far. A lot of people said these parts are no good. They sat on the shelf too long. They're blah, 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 blah. Let me tell you something. We've got brand new fuel pumps from the 70s on cars right now, working fine, absolutely perfect. We're using belts. We took a couple thousand belts out of there. The belts are in great shape. We've sold gaskets. The gaskets are in great shape. We've sold shocks. We've sold 3 or 4 pairs of shocks. No complaints out of them, no problem. Okay? The oil, the gas hasn't leaked out of them. I mean, I can tell you right now, you can see that right there. The valves are fine in them. Sitting on the shelf for those years has not caused any damage to these shocks. These shocks are still in great shape. So, in an effort to try to boost awareness to these car parts that we're getting and help us go get these other collections, $15 per shock, 4 shocks per person for the next 5 days. We'll even give it 5 to 7 days. Any emails we get to save the parts, parts wanted at savetheparts.org. Send us the information on the vehicle you're looking for, and you get 4 brand new up to 4 brand new shocks at $15 per shock if we have the ones for your application, and as supplies last. We're not a wholesaler. We don't have a way to get more parts. What we have on the shelf is being offered. I want to be very, very clear about this. What we have on the shelf now, while supplies last. Now we have close to 2,000 or 3,000 shocks on the shelf, individuals. Okay, So come on in, let's try out this little sales campaign. Let's see how this works. See if people are paying attention and see if we can get more people to pay attention, because we got a lot of parts to get rid of. And again, I'm not in the car part. Didn't do this to open a car parts store. I did this to bring attention to the nonprofit foundation that is geared around and geared up for helping younger men, older men and women, helping anybody who wants to learn a chance to learn, and building a small museum to share the history of stuff. So appreciate you guys tuning in today. Let's see how this works out. The next couple of weeks, I'm going to ramp up the sales of these parts. We've got enough on the shelf now that we can really start pushing the numbers out there. AI is helping us find the right parts. We have the catalogs to help zero in and find the right parts. And when we find the parts for the person, the parts that they want, we're going to email you pictures of the parts to make sure it's the right part for your application. All right, guys, CudaBill out for Sunday. I've ranted enough about this. Let's see what happens. We'll be at Carlisle next weekend for Trucks at Carlisle. We're going to go up and set up a booth and start selling parts up there. And we're taking it day by day to see what's to sell these car parts, get rid of these car parts. All right, CudaBill out for now. I hope everybody has a great week.